The first part of Season 4 of Emily in Paris has just landed on Netflix, and it's safe to say that those first 5 episodes absolutely flew by. With it concluding with a cliffhanger that looks set to shake the relationship of Emily and Gabrielle right up, and the trailer looking like there could be a new man entering the equation which will form a love triangle. It's safe to say that there's a lot to theorize about. With there being a trailer released and the release date for part 2 not actually being that far away, let's take a look at the trailer, break it down, and I'll also give my theories and predictions on what I think will happen next. So let's get into it. Here is Emily in Paris Season 4 Part 2 trailer explained and everything we know. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The story. So if we start with the trailer for the next part of the season, it seems like following on from the ending where Gabrielle had Camille to his right and Emily to his left, that's going to be a common thing as it seems like the three of them are going to be going on a skiing holiday together. We found out in the conclusion of part 1 that Camille was in fact not carrying Gabrielle's child and that it was a false positive result on the test that she took. However, she didn't tell Gabrielle at the end that she was no longer pregnant. This is most likely because following Sophia leaving her and going back to Athens, she most probably felt like her life was falling apart around her. And the only thing that was keeping her grounded was the fact that Gabrielle was going to be present in her life. So if she were to reveal to him that she was no longer carrying his child, he'd be able to go off and be happy with Emily and not feel obliged to be connected to her anymore, something that she fears. This deception that she's carrying out is something that I think will be at the heart of the next season, and I think it's going to cause Emily and Gabrielle's relationship to deteriorate. There wasn't really any turbulence for the couple in this season, so I think the showrunners have saved it for the next part when it returns. With Gabrielle going after Camille on the skiing trip and leaving Emily at the top of the mountain, I feel like that's almost telling of what Gabrielle's priority is going to be. Because he's going to be under the impression that Camille's pregnant and ultimately always put her first because he believes that she's carrying his child. When in reality, Camille is going to unintentionally damage Emily and Gabrielle for the sake of nothing. With the new character Marcello being introduced in this next part as well, it very much feels like a love triangle is going to form. As with Gabrielle putting Camille at the top of his priorities, that might make Emily feel a bit like a spare part. I imagine she will be understandable at first, but that might change with time. We caught glimpses of that mindset in part 1 of season 4 when Gabrielle and Camille were reminiscing over the past and when she was still living with him. So with Marcello giving her the attention that she's probably going to be wanting off of Gabrielle, she might start falling for him. I think it's also pretty obvious that it's going to be revealed that Camille isn't pregnant, and that will cause the friendship that she has with Gabrielle to become non-existent. Think, not only would she have cheated on him and left him at the altar, but she would have also made him believe that she was pregnant and that he was the father. Something that will probably also indirectly cause the decline of his loving relationship with Emily due to him being distracted. So Camille's life will most likely unravel when it does get revealed. I think love triangles are probably going to be the common theme throughout this next part of the season. We're going to be seeing it with Gabrielle, Emily, and Marcello, and I also think we'll see it with Mindy, Nicolai, and also Benoit. In the episode where Mindy and her band were performing on stage, we saw that Benoit and Mindy had some kind of connection with one another when they were singing, and there was more than met the eye with it. It was felt by Benoit, judging by the look that he gave her at the end of the performance. It was felt by Mindy due to the fact that she was happy that Nicolai missed the performance, and it was also felt by Luke as he said to Emily that the type of chemistry that he was seeing on stage couldn't be faked. With Nicolai's situation with his father putting Mindy in an awkward position and them having some issues themselves, I think we could see Mindy potentially gravitate towards Benoit, as they're only going to be getting closer with one another, especially because they're going to be working on the Eurovision Song Contest. That's something that I hope we also see more of in the next part of the show as well. Mindy and her own individual plot that develops her character forward. That was something that felt like it was missing from the first part of the season. So I think we'll not only see them progress through the competition, but Mindy and Benoit will most likely realize the love that they have for one another and the connection that joins the both of them. With regards to Luke and Julien, I'm hoping we also get to see more of them in the next part of the season. They were both reunited following Julien leaving JVMA, so I'm hoping that a lot of the banter that we saw throughout the first 3 seasons of the show will be returning with their partnership being revived. I also think the story with Sylvie exposing Louis has only just got started. I think Louis being removed from the company will lead to Nicolai taking on his father's old job role and will ultimately end up leading the company. With Julien saying that they were trying to get dirt on Sylvie, I wonder if there's going to be some kind of revenge plot that's going to be taking place from JVMA. One character that I'm questioning how involved they're going to be in the next part of the season is Alfie. Alfie was obviously thrown to the sidelines by Emily in episode 3 of the season, and we haven't seen him feature in an episode since. However, with him working with Laurent, I imagine we will see him appear at some point in the show. But with it looking like Marcello might become the new love interest for Emily, Alfie might be completely out of the picture now, or Emily might end up going back to him after Marcello and Gabrielle don't work out. It would be nice for Emily to find peace within herself and realize that her happiness doesn't necessarily come from a partner, but I don't know whether the show will delve into that territory this far in. In terms of Emily and her work, I think that will follow suit with part 1 as well, and there won't be much drama involved in it, or there being a threat to her job. The only thing that could throw a spanner in the works is the product that they were working with Lee's company, a care product that originally was created for a completely different purpose. If you've seen the show, then you know. We know that Emily will also end up in Rome at some point, as during filming they were spotted doing some kind of filming out there on location. Marcello sounds like a name with Italian origins, so maybe he could be the very person that leads her to Italy. As you can see, there are so many different directions that the next part of the season could well go in following the bombshell news at the end of Season 4 Part 1. But it's safe to say that the drama has only just got started, and I think it's going to be 5 episodes that will be building towards an explosive finale. The release date. In terms of the release date, within the Season 4 Part 2 teaser trailer, it stated that the show would be returning on the 12th of September of this year, so thankfully we've got less than a month to wait until it arrives on our screens again. In terms of the amount of episodes that we're going to be receiving, we're going to be getting another 5 episodes just like Part 1, allowing us to get the 10 episode fix like we usually do. The new structure of making seasons into 2 parts is something that I do question a lot. I question whether it's done so that they can build more hype or if it's to make the users have their subscriptions for a month longer and get more money out of the viewers. I'm still undecided on what the approach is, maybe it's a bit of both. But I do prefer it when the episodes all come at once, because sometimes the pacing of a 10 episode series can be compromised for the sake of trying to get 2 installments out of it, something that I think Part 1 fell victim to. Unfortunately for now, that's all that's known about Emily in Paris Season 4 Part 2. Thankfully, we've not got that long to wait to see what's going to happen. I'm sure Netflix will also probably release a full trailer rather than a teaser in the next couple of days or weeks, so keep your eyes peeled. So, there you have it, Emily in Paris Season 4 Part 2 trailer explained and everything we know. If you want to see a full breakdown of Season 4 Part 1, then click on the card in the top corner, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find your favourite shows broken down. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think will happen next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.